Today we welcome Maanya Akka, who's Sadhguru's niece, Sadhguru's elder brother's only daughter. He had this white Maruti 800. Radhe was really little. We'd sit in the back seat, we'd travel. And there's this one incident that's, I would say, seared in my mind because I still can't make sense of it. It was the night. It was pouring rain, like crazy, cats and dogs, pouring rain. The windshield wipers were going swish, 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 swish. And then I'm sitting in the back seat and I see these small lingam shapes forming. And I kept watching closely. It would wipe away and shape, lingam, lingam, lingam. And I was like, Vijji auntie, are you seeing that? She said, yeah, these kind of things happen around Sadhguru. For summer vacations, we'd come to the ashram. We'd wake up early and then we'd go with one of the swamis to do yoga. We'd learn yoga. It was a long walk and then a long bullock cart ride. There was this really cool stream with a rock slide into the water. But it was such a fun time going with all the swamis and maas. And I think it's the first time we are hearing that Sadhguru has invited his family members, nieces, just to have a good time here. I think somewhere out in the middle, I think Viji Maa's passing would have happened. How was that taken by you personally? Saumya was very powerful, and then the same year I went on Kailash Yatra. So coming to the pivotal moment of switching, I remember I was running behind him, uncle on the trip, Kailash Yatra. And there was this one evening, we were at Manasarovar Lake. Sadhguru standing facing the lake. I go running behind him, he's by himself. I say, uncle, something, and I say. And he turns around and he says, I was like, yes. So since then, he's Sadhguru. If there's anybody I trust blindly with anything and most of our big decisions, it's him. I wouldn't even hesitate. I wouldn't, in a blink of an eye, I'll say yes. Not your parents. For the fact that I'm so fortunate to be born in the same family as him, because I always wonder if I had not been in such close proximity, I might have wasted my entire life not knowing that this possibility existed through Sadhguru. That would have been a waste of a life. Namaskaram, all of you. Today we have with us a very special guest, someone who's been with Sadhguru since her birth. She's a well-grown-up woman today. Sadhguru has held her in his arms, put her to sleep, and who's been with Sadhguru for a very, very long time in close proximity, now part of the foundation as well. Definitely she has lots to share, and we will get to know about Sadhguru, on how he's taking care of his family members and what are the different moments he has shared and how he is among his own family members. So today we welcome Maanya Akka, who's Sadhguru's niece, Sadhguru's elder brother's only daughter. She's with us here today. Namaskaram Akka, thank you so much.
Namaskaram Akka, thank you so much for having me. Very happy to be on Humans of Isha. Thank you.
So where do we start? So the very first question, when we were just like discussing about the journey, just to see like what do you have to share? The very first question that I would like to share is that the earliest memory you have with Sadhguru, you were saying that Sadhguru used to put me to sleep when you were 2 years old. How did that happen?
Yeah.
I know you should be like having very vague memories, but it was so exciting to see Sadhguru carrying you in his arms, taking you in his bike and putting you to sleep. So what are the stories that you heard from your dad and how he used to look at you?
Yes, Akka. So obviously I probably would be lying if I said if I remember memories from when I was 2 years old. But yes, we used to live in a joint family at my tata's house in Mysore, in Gokulam. So when I was born, Sadhguru was in and out traveling. But I do remember my mom used to tell me that I used to love being, taken on a ride on the bike just to get me sleepy, and then I'd go to sleep without any fuss. So my parents would do that, and then Sadhguru also do that. And my parents would love to go for late night movies. So many a time they'd go for movies. And there's a very famous theater in Mysore called Sterling Theatre. People from Mysore know about it. And they'd leave me at home, either with Akka, actually my grandmother. All of us call her Akka for some reason, even though she's our grandmother. So either Akka or Sadhguru would take care of me, put me to bed. And yes, I've heard a lot of stories of how my cousin Manas, he and I are very close in age. We're, I think, about 3 months apart, born in the same year. So we grew up together along with my other cousin Darshan.
And I know you used to call Sadhguru as uncle for a very, very long time. So before we go into the question of when did you start addressing or calling or seeing Sadhguru as Guru, lot more things happened.
Yes.
So let's delve into those aspects a little bit. So Sadhguru got married.
Yes.
Viji Maa was there. So how was your relationship with Viji Maa? You must be, I don't know, again, maybe 10, 15 years of age.
That's right.
So how was she?
So if I had to use one, maybe 2 words to describe her, it would be love and warmth. She was just the most pure person filled with so much love and warmth. And she was generous to a fault. Like you could feel that love sort of, she was just motherly by nature. Some people have that a little bit, but she was just like that to everyone. And she had that intensity about her. Obviously, the way she loved Sadhguru, even though I was young, I used to be like, man, look at uncle and auntie.
Really?
Yeah. Just that intensity of her love and devotion for Sadhguru. It was so apparent. It was so beautiful. I would think it set the bar really high for how relationships should be for us, I think, as children. So yes, I would say she was extremely loving, very warm, very caring. Obviously, those were the initial days of the foundation. So Sadhguru was on the road traveling. Vijay auntie would travel with him a lot. I think after Radhe was born, there was a very concerted attempt to make sure that she bonded well with her cousins, with my tata, my parents, all of that. So vacations, they would come to Mysore. I think by this time we had moved out of the joint family house. We were living in these apartments in Mysore. And for a couple of years, we lived on the 3rd floor, my parents and I. And Vijay auntie and Radhe lived, I think, on the 1st floor because Sadhguru was always traveling. He was in and out. But it was really nice because come lunchtime, there'd be an exchange of lunches. Vijay auntie would call my mom, hey, yen madidya adgege? And same, my mother would ask, and then the dabbas would make their way to each other's homes. And then after lunch, we just laze around on the sofa, chit chat, and she'd be like, Maanya, you know what? I'll probably be traveling to the US soon. Ninnu karkondu hogtini, nin ready agiru, ninnu karkondu hogtini, all of that. And I was really excited. I'm like, yes, Vijay auntie is going to take me to the US. And so in the evenings, Radhe was really little. She was maybe 4 or 5. We'd go downstairs, play with the other apartment children, cycling, skipping. Those days, obviously, right?
Yeah.
No devices, nothing. We were left to our own devices. So we'd play, we'd fool around, Manas, Darshan. We'd go to my tata's house, go for a meal, spend the whole day. And we'd play cops and robbers. And for whatever reason, my older cousin was always the cop because we wanted to be the robbers because that was more fun. And Radhe often says that you and Manas were always, the older kids. So you'd pretend to be cooler than me and little mean to me. I don't remember that. Okay. But you can ask her about it.
So what is Viji Maa's special dishes? Like you were saying that they used to exchange dabbas.
I don't remember a specific dish per se, but she's from a Kannada family. So I think like the hulis and the sambars and the rasams, I guess. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily remember a particular dish. But I just remember she was just so warm and loving to be around. To everyone, not just to family, to everyone, regardless of who it was. And another aspect, if I may mention, is the intensity in which she did her sadhana. You could see she was consumed by it. She was, oh my gosh, like burning up with that intensity. When she'd sit, nothing, nobody crying, nobody making noise could touch her, shake her, move her. She would sit like that.
Even at that time.
Yeah. I couldn't make
you-
sense of those things, but I could see that how can somebody sit like that, like a rock,
For hours together.
Yeah. So with Sadhguru, with Radhe and her sadhana. Intense.
With Radhe also.
Yes. Like she was, I don't know, like as a mom, I feel that moments with my children, I just want to squeeze them, like it just pours out of you, right? The love. It was like that with her all the time.
How was she with you? In the sense, she has come from a different family, kind of assimilation into the family, the culture, the customs that we have. Was she struggling a little bit, or it was just a very seamless integration?
So like I said, we moved out of the joint family setup, and Sadhguru and Vijay auntie were traveling. And my grandmom Akka, of course, she passed when I was very little. I was only 5. But she was also super sweet and very mellow and calm and loving. So there's no sort of strict mother-in-law vibe at all. Yeah. So that was not a concern. So I don't believe there's any concern in terms of mismatch, in terms of fitting in. And it definitely helped that Sadhguru and my dad have always been very close. So my mom and Vijay auntie were also very close because they were close in age. They were similar stages of their lives, young children. My mom used to teach aerobics somewhere at some gym in Mysore, and Vijay auntie would go. So, the fashion of those days, right? The t-shirt, the leggings, the bell-bottom jeans. So I've seen them both together in all those phases. They were true co-sisters in that sense, doing things together whenever the time afforded them to be together.
So that's very exciting to know, Akka. To imagine Vijay Akka or Viji Maa like a fashionista. You were saying that Sadhguru and Viji Maa used to travel a lot. So
Yes.
Did you get to tag along with them?
Yes, I would say a couple of times I did get to tag along with them. This is the time when Sadhguru would travel extensively across Tamil Nadu. He had this white Maruti 800. And a couple of times, I guess, during vacation, Radhe was really little. We'd sit in the back seat, we'd travel. And there's this one incident that's, I would say, seared in my mind because I still can't make sense of it. It was the night. It was pouring rain, like crazy, cats and dogs, pouring rain. The windshield wipers were going swish, 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 swish. And then I'm sitting in the back seat and I see these small lingam shapes forming. And I know typically when the windshield wipers running, the car is closed, the condensation can cause
droplets.
No,
they were inside.
No, they were distinct shapes forming on the glass and then they'd get wiped.
Oh, okay.
And I thought usually with condensation, there's some, evaporation inside the car. So there's steam, and I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. And I kept watching closely. It would wipe away and shape, lingam, lingam, lingam. And I was like, Vijay auntie, are you seeing that? She said, yeah, these kind of things happen around Sadhguru. And this was before Dhyana Linga.
Okay. Where all did you go to together?
Some smaller towns. We've been to Tirupur. And
Tirupur is close by.
Yeah.
To the ashram. Okay.
We stayed in some meditator's house. And I also remember we went on this trip to Munnar Tekdi. I think there's a picture on the internet somewhere where I have this water bottle around my neck.
Okay.
And Radhe is really little and she's covering her eyes like that. Like she's little kuti. So, that's it. No other memories from that time. I just remember that he'd wake up super early, even in those days, 4 o'clock. And let's go, everyone. Pack up and let's go.
For the trip?
No, even like the sessions, the programs, right? There was no sort of relaxing, let's sleep late, all of that. Let's go. He was always on.
So you used to sleep?
No, I'd get up. What do I do sleeping at?
And what do you go to the class?
I think I just hang out with Radhe, play, I don't know, coloring, book, reading. Both of us love reading, so books were our and we're both only children, so books were our constant companions.
Okay. Did Sadhguru recommend any book or got any books to you?
Not really. But I saw him, like he is a voracious reader.
Oh, really?
Since forever. I think since his university days, even before that. Even before the house was constructed, there was just a triangle block. There was one room where Jaggi Uncle, Vijay auntie, Radhe was staying. And There's lots of books all over.
Really?
And then a few other rooms where Swamis, Maas would stay. That's it, Akka. There was just a triangle block and there's a
Yes.
thatched program hall and the leaning tree of Isha, leaning tree of Isha.
Leaning tree of Isha.
So those are fun early days because we knew all the Swamis and Maas. There were maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 of them.
So was that your vacation time here? Yeah.
Yes.
Summer vacation used to be here.
Yes. So I remember Manas and I, for summer vacations, we'd come to the ashram
Mhm.
and we'd wake up early. In the kitchen, there'd be soaked almonds for Sadhguru. We'd also steal a few. And then we'd go with one of the Swamis to do yoga. We'd learn yoga.
Hmm.
It was a very idyllic time. Radhe would wake up and there was a few dogs. We'd play with the dogs, just run around. And then they'd be like, okay, we're going to the second stream. Let's go. And it was a long walk and then a long bullock cart ride. And you hike into the forest. And there was this really cool stream with a rock slide into the water.
The Vaideni one.
Yeah,
Huh?
I think so. It's been so long. But it was such a fun time going with all the Swamis and Maas and picnic. And, they'd pack lemon rice and apples and oranges. And
It's very exciting days. It looks like. I think it's the first time we are hearing that Sadhguru has invited his family members, nieces, just to have a good time here. So in those days, even before the ashram was built, it's so wonderful to know that you come here and Sadhguru has had his family members.
Yeah.
So somewhere, at least in my mind, I thought once his life was dedicated towards having a foundation here, building an ashram, all his ties with the family, I thought not much. But it was so heartwarming to know that you guys have come here, spent time with the brahmacharis, not just Radhe, even you. So, which means you used to travel with your dad, mom here?
Yes, it was a constant. Let's go to Isha because it's 5-6 hours, right? So, Isha has always been our second home in that sense. And to your point about how Sadhguru feels about, keeping close connections with family, he absolutely values us maintaining strong ties, and he's demonstrated that by example. So now obviously he always tells Radhe and me and Manas, you guys have to be close, you have to be in touch, you have to try and meet, all of that. But over the years, even with his extensive traveling, his schedules, even if he's somewhere on the way to Bangalore, he'll make a quick detour. He'll just call my parents, he's like, I'm coming for lunch, and then make a quick detour. When my grandpa was there, he'd stop by for lunch, or even if it's just a coffee, spend 10 minutes, check in on my aunt, my cousins, my parents, and then be on his way. Even now, the littlest, flex he sees in his schedule, he's squeezing a trip to Mysore to see my aunt, my parents. It's always been that way. And for the longest time, actually, he would even try and meet his college and early, adult friends every time he came to Mysore. I remember waiting, we'd be waiting and waiting and waiting. And sometimes these people would not show up. And I would be like, seriously, you people, like Sadhguru with his schedule is waiting and trying to meet you and you guys don't even show up. But that's how much he values, maintaining family connections, and not just with immediate family, but also with extended family. We have very close family in Bangalore, Sadhguru's aunts, uncles, cousins, absolutely very much in touch with them. He'll check in on them. Even if he doesn't obviously call them directly, he'll ask my dad or he'll ask me or my mom, how are they doing? Or he'll ask Radhe to give them a call. So absolutely, he makes Radhe call people, wish them, check in on them, and he'll have them visit Radhe and Sandeep. So it's very, very important for him to maintain family connections.
We never knew this side of Sadhguru at all.
Yeah. And even in the US, so I've been living in the US for 15 years. If he's anywhere in the proximity of where he knows that we live, he'll usually give me a call and say, I'm going to be in this place for some time. See if you can come. Obviously, we go. And even sometimes he'll spend 10 minutes, sometimes he'll spend 2 hours, and he'll give you his undivided attention. It's not like he's checking his phone or people are talking to him. When he's with family, he's 100% there. He's fully attentive. We ask questions. I get parenting advice. I get marriage advice. And then we get his perspective on things because he has that level of clarity, right? So I'll be like,
So
Sadhguru, this situation.
Did you kind of see that Sadhguru is having that kind of razor sharp clarity this uncle is different from the rest of the people that we are with, the relatives, the aunts, and
Yes.
the extended family members. Did you see him as someone very special even at that age? For the kind of being he was, he is.
I would say in the initial years, it didn't necessarily make sense to me how, people were falling at his feet and crying. When I was really young, I didn't understand what was going on. I obviously didn't appreciate the person that he was. But it was always very clear that he was always there for the family. He was there as an uncle and incredibly intelligent and sharp, very balanced perspectives and opinions. And if you want advice, he'll give it to you. He's not somebody who'll give you unsolicited advice, even now, over all these years. Unless I go to him with an issue that I'm struggling with, and then he'll give me some suggestions or inputs or, some guidance. But on his own, he'll say, no. I know better, you do this. It's never that.
It's never
that.
Which means sometimes you could be doing something wrong, which might have a longer standing. I don't know. Even then, he let you do it and then watch.
I've not been in that situation. But I would say for the most part, he will give you advice when you ask for it. Unless he absolutely wants you to take a step. We'll go into that later, like me coming here.
Okay. Yeah. What have your dad shared about Sadhguru? His like younger brother.
Yeah. So obviously very close. They're all exactly 2 years apart. My granddad.
So your dad and Sadhguru is 2 years apart.
All the siblings.
Okay.
So my Mataji, my aunt who passed away, and then Pushpa auntie, then my dad and Sadhguru, all 2 years apart. Very well planned.
Only 4 people?
Yeah. Now there's 3. Yeah.
Okay.
So as you know, my grandfather was a doctor with the Indian Railways. So they would travel extensively. They were posted in different places. So obviously when you keep traveling from place to place, you have each other for company, right? So they play cricket together. And I think my father liked photography a lot. So there are these very cool pictures, actually, all of them. My dad's are all very tall, skinny, with huge bell-bottom pants. And they've taken these very cool experimental photos where the camera's on the ground and the foot is like above with the bell-bottom over it. It's really funny. I'll try and find those for you. And they love to travel. They both love bikes. My dad likes cars a little bit more. So yes, they've been very close. And I don't know if you know the story, but if it weren't for Sadhguru, my parents wouldn't have gotten married and I wouldn't be here.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a long story. How much time do you have?
The whole day. Go into it.
Okay. So my father's a pharmacist. He had a pharmacy in Mysore. And my mom, I think she was in college. And whatever, eyes met. I guess sparks flew. Yeah. They liked each other. And although they're both Telugu speaking, they're from different communities. So they spent some time together, and then my dad tried to approach my mom's parents, and they were dead set against it because they wanted her to marry within the community. Even though my grandparents, like my father's parents, also went, but didn't happen. And then they realized that these two are not staying apart from each other. So let's take the next step, which was they moved her to like relatives' houses, I think in Maddur, and then my dad and Sadhguru turned up there also.
What is the eloping kind of a thing?
They had not yet planned to elope, but my mom's parents wanted to keep them apart somehow. Like they did not want her in Mysore because he keeps coming and meeting her and she keeps going and meeting him. Yeah.
Okay, so it was done from the
her parents. Yes, my mom's parents. So they moved her to a relative's house in Maddur, and Sadhguru and my dad turned up over there. So they moved her somewhere else, and finally they moved her. They got sick of these two men turning up. They got sick of.
You mean your dad and
Sadhguru? Yeah.
Oh, all the time chasing
because my dad wants to go meet her and find out if she's okay, and like when can we get married, that sort of a thing. And then finally they place her in her uncle's house in the cantonment area in Madras. Obviously, cantonment area is very protected. Still, somehow Sadhguru and my dad, they approach the house. Obviously, these are the days before WhatsApp profile photos. You don't know how someone looks, right? So they go to the house and my mom is there with her aunt. Aunt doesn't know how my dad looks. Aunt doesn't know how Sadhguru looks. So these guys go inside and they say, oh, we've just come to see the house. And then my mom comes out. She's like, what are you guys doing here?
It's a surprise visit.
Yeah, because they couldn't call her. No
Okay.
method of communication. Then they say, can you give us some water? So she goes in to get a glass of water. And meanwhile, these two have made plans saying, okay, this date. So they pass a sheet of paper saying, okay, in 3 days, just bring a few belongings. We're going to come pick you up from the house. You jump from the balcony and be ready. That's the plan. And then they leave. They go back to Mysore. And then they're supposed to leave to Chennai. It's, again, a rainy night for some reason. Always a rainy night, right? And Akka, my grandmom, she's like, Raghu. So the family members call my dad Raghu. He's Ravindra, but lovingly they call him Raghu. Like, Raghu, ticket letkontva. So their plan was, they knew if they uthafied the girl, right? There would be, they would post people to railway stations, bus stands, expecting them to take a bus or a train. So they thought they'd be very smart and they booked flight tickets. In those days, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So they booked flight tickets. It was expensive. So only for my dad and mom, they booked. And Akka is like, Raghu, tickets etkontva. Check. He's like, aun ma etkondano. But in that stress, he forgot it. So he and Sadhguru are leaving by bus to Chennai. And then midway, in the middle of the night, he realized he doesn't have the tickets. My dad. What to do? You can't. You have to go back and get it. So Sadhguru's like, you know what? I'll wait in the bus stop. My dad somehow found, I don't know, an auto, a bus or something back to Mysore. And they're like, why have you come back? He's like, I forgot the tickets. And so anyway, he picks up the tickets. Again, he goes to the bus stand. He's looking for Sadhguru. He cannot find him. It's pouring rain. The bus stand is fully empty. Not a soul in sight. Maybe some stray dogs and stuff. Then he looks and he sees Sadhguru's lying on this pile of rocks or something, fully soaked. What to do? There's no shelter,
He's
nothing.
waiting for him to come
Waiting
back
for him to come back. It must have been a few hours, right? And then they somehow continued on their way. That's a long story. They go on a lorry and all of that. Anyway, they make their way to Chennai. And then they decide that my mom is probably not wise for her to jump off the balcony and catch her. There could be broken bones involved. So they say, okay, fine. She just latches her aunt in when she's taking a nap and then she comes down. And obviously only 2 tickets. So these two take a flight. And they came prepared. They brought burqas and everything for them to disguise themselves.
Burqas?
Yeah. To disguise them so nobody recognized them, just in case. That wasn't needed. They didn't have to use it. So they come back by flight. Their friends meet them. They go to Nanjangud temple, get married. Poor Sadhguru, obviously, there was no flight ticket for him. So he had to take a bus or a train back. So he missed the wedding, even though he's the one who, was instrumental in, this whole elopement happening. But anyway, he makes it a day or two later and they get the blessings and my...
so who conducted the wedding? I mean...
They had police and lawyer and they just went to the temple and got married. Because my dad's parents were like, if the girl's parents are not coming, it won't be nice if we, are present. So you guys get married and then you come.
That's all.
Yeah. And a few other instances. So obviously they were young. They didn't have kids yet. So they'd go swimming, Balmuri. And I think just yesterday, I was talking to Sadhguru at breakfast. And he was talking about this story where, so Balmuri is this, it's on the Kaveri River. There's the river flowing and there's a bit of a waterfall as well. Across the river, on a small island, there was a snake eating some birds' eggs from a nest. So Sadhguru, very strong swimmer, he goes across and my dad, my mom, their cousins are all there. And he says, hey, look at this, come and see. So my dad is holding my mom's hand and his cousin's hand and they start walking into the water. The first step, the water's still here. Second step, the water's still here. And my dad cannot swim. My mom cannot swim. My aunt cannot swim. So they almost start getting washed away. Oh so my dad somehow tries to pull them. He's not able to. He gets back. Sadhguru goes in with a strong current and everything. He pulls out my mom and my aunt. Like he saved her life a couple of times in the water. I'll tell you that.
Oh. Very interesting. I couldn't believe that Sadhguru being such a strong swimmer.
Yeah.
he didn't make the rest of the people learn swimming.
So after that, actually, interesting you should ask that, because after that, my mother was like, this cannot happen again. And she learned swimming. She became a really good swimmer after that. She's an excellent swimmer now. My
Now,
dad still cannot swim.
your dad couldn't?
He's still on the side of the pool or the river.
Okay. So, Akka, so you were sharing about your childhood memories with Radhe, Viji Maa, Sadhguru, so many things. I think somewhere out in the middle, I think Viji Maa's passing would have happened. So, how was that taken by you personally? And did you get to meet her before that? And was there any indication? Could share a few moments with her.
So Akka, as I mentioned, those days we'd spend as much time together as cousins as possible. Vijji auntie, Jaggi uncle would always come with Radhe. She was in Uti that time. So we'd spend, any free weekends together. And that one particular weekend, it was Sunday. We all went to Mysore Zoo. So Sadhguru, Vijji auntie, Radhe, my mom, obviously myself, my cousins Manas, Darshan and Pushpa auntie. Went to the zoo, had a nice time. I don't know if you've been to Mysore Zoo. It's a really nice zoo.
Yeah,
Looked at animals, birds, snakes, all that. This was on Sunday. And then I remember they headed back to drop Radhe to Uti. So that was their route. Usually they come to Mysore, spend a few days, go to Uti, drop her off to boarding school, and then go back to ashram. And then I was in ninth at that time, final exams. I was in my room studying, I think the Thursday morning. The phone rings. My mom picks it up, and I hear like a shriek, a wail. Like she was in shock. She started crying, and I came running out. I said, "Amma, what happened?" She said, "Vijay auntie is gone." You can't comprehend it because you just saw her 4 days ago, and we just had a really nice time. Nothing was out of the ordinary. I think looking back when we discussed it, my cousin Manas, he said that at the zoo, she said, Manas nanil innonsari bartino ilvo. Meaning, I don't know if I'll come back here again or not. With me, I don't think I noticed anything being off. I think she seemed she was holding something to herself, sort of. She wasn't her usual chirpy self, I would say. Usually she's very, expressive. And she seemed a little subdued, but obviously I didn't pay any heed to it. I didn't read anything into it.
But she kind of mentioned to Manas, which is your cousin,
yes, yeah,
that this may be my last time.
And I was not able to go for the funeral because I had my final exams. Yeah, it was a very, very, very shocking and sudden loss. Just the person that she was, it was a big vacuum of that motherly, affectionate, loving presence in our family. Yeah. After Akka, my grandmother passing, this was the only loss I've had that I really felt so close. Plus, I could understand things. It just didn't make sense. Yeah.
So Radhe was, still very young. So when did you get to meet her? After this whole thing happened.
So it wasn't obviously overtly stated, but looking back, there was definitely an attempt by Sadhguru and my parents to have Radhe spend time with cousins and aunts and uncles and my mom. Any chance we got. So I remember one instance, I was in 11th and he called us to the ashram. And so my mom, myself and my friend Rashmi, he comes to bus stand, picks us up and he drives us to the ashram. We stay in the house.
Who, Sadhguru?
Yeah.
He'll come to the bus stand to pick you up.
Of course, yeah. Because there were no taxis and all in those days. So he'd come pick us up or sometimes send a car. But that instance, I remember, he came pick us up. And I think they had just constructed the house. And Radhe was so excited about her room because she has this really cool room.
Oh, her own room?
Yeah, her own room. So they're very cute. I'll describe it. So she has this ladder that goes up to this little loft area. And it was like a reading nook / I think there was a mattress so you can lie and read and all of that. And there was this stuffed toy snake coiled around the ladder. And I think they painted sea animals. I think, on the walls. They just done it super cutely for her. And she was so excited. She's like, Maanya Akka, you have to see my room. It is so cool. Let's go climb up the ladder. And she's going up and down, up and down, up and down. We're like, careful, Radhe, don't fall down because it's quite a height. So it was good memories, just spending time in the house. We'd stay in the room and Sadhguru was in his room. And then the space where Vijji auntie had been, that chair was draped in a white cloth. I think after a while they closed off that room separately. But yes, they really tried to make sure she got a lot of time with the cousins. My mom would spend a lot of time with her. So
Even today?
Today, I think her traveling schedule probably mirrors Sadhguru's now.
Absolutely.
So I think life as adults, it's taken us in different ways. I've been abroad for a long time. But as I said, every time there's a possibility of meeting, we try and make it happen. So if they're in Tennessee, we'll go meet them. Radhe and Sandeep have come and stayed with us a couple of times. They play with the kids. And Sandeep was very playful with the kids, especially. And even before Radhe got married, she'd come when we were in Connecticut. She'd come and stay with us. And she would love pampering Ishta and making her wear her sunglasses and carry her handbags and like they call her Radhe Pinni.
Yeah.
So I have some cute pictures of Ishta, my older one, and she was really little. She's wearing this cute dress and she's carrying Radhe's bag and Radhe's sunglasses and sitting on her shoulder. And even when my kids were born, Radhe came, spent time with us. Always, Sadhguru and Radhe and Sandeep always make an attempt to, take time out and come spend quality time with the rest of us. And we also go and meet them wherever possible. So yeah, in terms of keeping in touch with Radhe, we probably meet once a year, once in 2 years. And a little bit of WhatsApp here and there. But when we meet, we pick up right where we left off.
It was not like, oh, you didn't call me for a long time.
Nah, no such expectations. Yeah. We're happy to see you now. Let's hang out. Let's catch up. And even when I was getting married, she used to tease my husband a lot when we were engaged. He was hesitating. He was like, these girls are bullying me so much. Should I marry into this family or not? I wasn't super excited. Obviously, you heard my story of my parents, their exciting elopement. So after that, I was like, really? Am I going to have an arranged marriage after all of that?
Oh, the older generation has eloped.
Yeah, and I know, right?
I should at least go to the next country and marry. Got to live up to them.
Yeah. So I was not super excited. I wasn't sure whether to go ahead. So I remember my parents and we came to the ashram. Radhe was there, met a Sadhguru, and we spoke about this match. And we said, Maanya and Jay have been talking for a few months now. And I think we're already engaged at that point.
This is almost sure then.
Yeah, but you can still back out because you're only engaged, right? And I told him, Sadhguru, I am not sure because I think who you marry is probably the single biggest decision you make in your life. It can really alter your life in the biggest ways. So I said, Sadhguru, I'm not really sure. He's a nice guy. His family is very nice, but I'm not sure. And I said, Sadhguru, I trust you blindly. Whatever you say, I'll do. If you say yes, I'll marry. If you say no, I won't. In a way, I kind of palmed off that big decision to him. So he took a few minutes. He thought it over.
You showed his photo?
Yeah. No, we gave the photo and he asked, where is he? He was in Japan at the time. We said a little bit about the family and he thought over it for a good few minutes. And he said, he'll be good for you. And if there's any problem, it'll be because of you. I said, okay, Sadhguru, I'll take that chance. And then he's like, okay, Radhe, go get sweets. Your cousin is getting married.
That's all. So that moment, all the doubts vanished. That's it.
Yeah. If there's anybody I trust blindly with anything, and most of all big decisions, it's him.
It's him.
I wouldn't even hesitate. I would, in a blink of an eye, I'll say yes.
It's not your parents. Not, okay. I'm just trying to see that before you saw Sadhguru as Guru, you should be having someone in your life whom you kind of hold very high. Was that a person or a god or an image? What was it? So what the kind of a person you were?
I would say that I was very religiously confused because I went to Catholic boarding schools from age 5 to 10. And I was basically Christian at that point. And then I came back home. Uh, and my parents are not super religious. So not festivals we'd celebrate, but not too much.
On the temple going?
Not so much. Little bit. With my grandparents, I used to go a little bit. Not too much. So that influence is not so strong. I wasn't overly swayed one way or the other. So I kind of kept with my praying to this religion that my school had influenced me with.
Mm-hmm.
That continued for a few years, even when I went to college, because that was also a Christian college. Yeah.
Okay.
In the sense, it wasn't influencing my life in a way, but I'd pray to Ganesha at home, I'd pray to Shiva at home, but I'd also pray to Jesus. It was like that. I wasn't set in any way. I would say I was open to it, but I didn't feel too strongly about it. And those are the days I was still running behind him. Uncle, Jaggi Uncle, Jaggi Uncle, Uncle. And I did my initial few programs. I did wholeness, the 7-day wholeness program in, I think, 2002 or 3. 3 maybe. And then I did my BSP, probably 2005. I would say the initial program wholeness, I did it out of curiosity. It was not like a longing to do it. It was more of, there are so many people here in the ashram who seem to be benefiting from it, who are so nice to be around. There's something about them. There must be something about the program. Let me try it out. So it was more of curiosity. I kept up in my practices. I don't think I was very good with it because I didn't see, I don't know if I saw any major transformation in myself at that point. BSP, I went willingly. I wanted to do it. I genuinely was interested in doing it. It was powerful. And then I did Samyama in 2009.
I also did
Samyama was... You 2009? Oh my God. We're like parallel lives.
Yeah. 2003 only I also did the program.
Really? Wholeness?
No, not wholeness, but 13-day Shakti Chalmakriya.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's what it is. Many
many parallels.
The lines are crossing.
I hope you were in the same batch in 2009.
Yeah, that's right. February, right?
Yes.
I love it. English one, right?
Yes.
Okay, we are Samyama partners.
Yes. So Samyama was very powerful. And then the same year, I went on Kailash Yatra. So coming to the pivotal moment of switching, I remember I was running behind him, uncle on the trip, Kailash Yatra. And there was this one evening, we were at Manasarovar Lake. Sadhguru standing facing the lake. And I go running behind him. He's by himself. I say, uncle, something. And I say, and he turns around and he says, if you don't stop seeing me as your uncle, you're really missing out. I was like, yes. So since then, he's Sadhguru. And now he's taken on more and more significance in many, many ways for me. Yeah.
So from Chinnayana to Jaggi Uncle to Sadhguru. Did you ever feel that I got to see Sadhguru as Sadhguru probably from that moment in the 2009 Kailash Yatra? Did you feel bad that I missed to see him earlier as Sadhguru? Did this thought ever come after the realization?
I wouldn't say it came to me that way, but I've always been grateful for the fact that I'm so fortunate to be born in the same family as him, because I always wonder if I had not been in such close proximity, I might have wasted my entire life not knowing that this possibility existed through Sadhguru. That would have been a waste of a life. So that truth always hits me hard, saying how fortunate am I that it was literally in front of my eyes. There was no escaping it. Imagine if I was just oblivious to it and I missed out on everything. That would have been a tragedy.
Now you got to explain the audience.
Yeah.
What did you really mean when you say the missing the possibility? So what was that?
So I had some glimpses of, there's something more to this than what my silly logical mind can perceive. As I mentioned, during my summer vacations, I'd come and spend time with the Maas, Swamis, doing yoga. Some sort of meditation I used to sit and do. I don't know what we were doing. But I just knew that I would kind of get lost into it. It felt really good. So much so that after my 10th boards, I came for vacation. I did not want to go back to college. Even though I had admission in a good college, I told my parents, anyway, I have Ma in my name. I'll become Ma Anya. I want to become a brahmacharni. I'm not going to college. So they really, really had to convince me to say, no. You've got a good college admission seat. Please go. After that, you come back and do whatever.
After that, you become a brahmachari.
So I had some tastes of, sitting still, going within myself that were always there. I probably didn't spend so much time exploring it as much as I have in the recent, I would say 10, 15, 20 years. Now, I feel like I've taken a few more steps further. I've had the immense privilege to live in the ashram since June last year. And I feel emotional saying this, but like sadhana has taken on a different flavor here. I've been doing my practices for many years, but I was clearly not doing it to the right intention and intensity. Thanks to the opportunity of being here with Sadhguru's blessings and grace, I'm able to really throw myself into my sadhana, and I see such massive changes in myself. So just those possibilities,
You're enticing the audience. All of us, actually, just to see doing sadhana with a lot more love, lot more willingness.
Yeah.
It makes a very big difference.
And the deeper you go with it, the more magical things that unfolds. It's hard to believe, hard to even explain, honestly. And sometimes I wonder if I'm reading too much into it, but I can see the difference. A simple example. So in October, my girls and I were going back home to the US, and my younger one, Adi, she fell really sick. She was vomiting endlessly on the flight from Bangalore to Doha. And obviously, if she's sick, they're not going to let you board the plane to the US because it's a longer flight. In the past, I would have been so stressed about it. I would have been so worked up because I always I'm a planner. I like to know what's ahead. I know plan A, plan B, plan C. I'm prepared. This is something obviously I couldn't do. I can't say, okay, you feel better, you stop vomiting, don't have a fever. It's not my control, right? And we're in a foreign country. So we get the help we need. And like I said, in the past, I would have been so flustered, so worked up. I would have been also blaming my husband. I'm like, you should have been there. Why am I here by myself struggling?
Yeah, anything goes wrong, obviously it's your husband.
Yes, yeah. But this time, I just told myself, you know what? I'm doing the best that I can. I have a dabba for her to vomit into.
Oh.
I took her to the doctor in Doha, and I told them, I said, look, my child is not well. I understand if you don't want to allow us to board, that's fine. So we went to the hospital in the basement. It took many hours. Obviously, we missed our flight. And they said, oh, you have to pay to rebook. I said, look, I willingly told you. I could have, lied about it and still boarded, but I didn't want to take a chance on my child's health. Absolutely, I would not do that. It's a 16-hour flight. So I went to the flow. I just prayed to Sadhguru. I prayed to Devi. I said, you'll show me the way. I will just go with the flow. And things worked out perfectly well. They gave us a hotel. We stayed. She recovered. Next day, we took a flight and we went. No drama, no fuss, no anger, no taking it out on my kids, me being stressed. So transformational changes like that I've seen. And I guess you'll have to ask.
To go through so much without any turmoil inside.
Yeah, yes.
It's a liberating experience by itself, isn't it?
Yes, Akka.
Okay. Now that when you were speaking, you said you prayed to Sadhguru and Devi.
Yeah. My Devi.
Wow. Show me a little close. Oh, that's very good.
I'm a Devi's girl. True and true.
Okay. Okay, all symbolic stuff.
I love Devi till the ends of the universe.
So that's why I asked at the very beginning what kind of a person you were. But you didn't tell, like, when did you
Yeah.
start moving towards, I wouldn't say roots,
Mm.
but kind of saying there is a larger presence.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, in temple going or in a ritual or being devoted to someone or something.
Hmm.
When did that happen?
So as I said, I wasn't drawn to any particular entity as such. I was just doing it because I was doing it since childhood. And after a while, it didn't make sense. So it kind of dropped off, whatever I was doing. 2009, Devi consecration was planned. And we had gotten married. We got married in the ashram, by the way. That's another story.
Oh,
Yes, Sadhguru conducted the wedding. So we were getting ready to move to the US. And I remember Devi consecration was planned in 2010, Jan, right? So we were supposed to leave to the US in March. And initially, I didn't plan to come for the consecration. I was like, yeah, what is this? I don't understand this. Because I didn't feel anything at that point. I was in the office and Sadhguru, I told you, sometimes he gives me a stronger nudge. He said, come for the consecration.
He invited you personally?
Yeah. I said, no, Sadhguru, we have this, we have that. I'm wrapping up my job. He's like, no, come. So we came.
All that is fine, but you come.
Yeah, all that is fine, but you come.
You and
my husband. So we came for it. Devi shook me up.
Mhm.
Shook me up. I have never felt so strongly drawn to any presence like that wasn't a human. I got the goodie soon after. So she's been with me for many, many years through all my moves in the US. Every Friday, I don't know if Friday is even a significant day, but every Friday I do the Devi Stuti, and every day light the lamp. My kids also light the lamp with me. And it's interesting. So about 2 years ago, my mother-in-law was visiting us in the US, and I had opened up the Devi components. I think the older versions had like the concrete core. I'd kept them aside, and whatever, some accident, the core fell. It cracked.
The linga?
Yeah. My mother-in-law knows how much Devi means to me. She didn't know how to face me.
Oh, she did it, huh?
It was an accident.
Okay, yeah.
Like there was some plate or something, it fell. I didn't want to react because she knows Devi is my everything. Obviously, I did not show any anger, but I was so upset and heartbroken. And I was reading into it saying, is it a bad sign? Is something going to happen? Have I angered Devi? What is going to happen? And then my friends and everyone, they're like, don't worry. It's the entity. Devi is Devi. This is a physical form. It's okay. We'll take care of it. Anyway, so the story I want to say was, I sent it with my mom to India. I said, please ask one of the Swamis, see if they can fix it, because I really want my Devi. And that took a long while. And interestingly enough, basically, Devi, they gave a new core. So she brought me to India. She came to ashram and she pulled me.
So you came to India and then...
No, now I'm in India. I never thought I'd be here. But I'm just saying, in a way, it worked out that...
you sent Devi and then Devi
she pulled me, yeah.
That's how you look at it?
Yeah.
It's like you sent Devi for a repair.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, I'm here. You also come
You also come. Yeah. So now she's with me here. We mentioned it to Sadhguru. It said, Sadhguru, we're planning to apply. And he very clearly said, look, although I founded the school runs very independently from me. They make their own decisions on everything. So don't expect anything from me. Your kids will have to get in on their own merit.
Really?
So he made that very clear. Yes.
No recommendation?
No.